No, he heard the sound of a man's voice saying, "You're coming with us."
Wow.
And started dragging him up to the corner of the ceiling.
Oh,
he says, "Put me down, put me down."
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to another wonderful episode of the Scary Movie Project, where we discuss scary movies and other spooky topics. And today we got a pretty special episode. I want you all to know that I am the devil and I'm here to do the devil's work. And if you know that line, you might know where we're talking about and where we are. Folks, I am standing on Cielo Drive in Benedict Canyon in Los Angeles, California, and I am looking at what was 150 Cielo Drive, which, if you know your history and your geography, you know that's where Sharon Tate lived, and that is where the Manson Murders happened, and that's what we are talking about today. I'm joined by my new friend, David Oman, who lives here on Cielo Drive. He's the owner of the Oman House. He is one of the producers of House at the End of the Drive. David, thank you for letting me come and talk about Manson Murders today. I'm super happy to have you come join me today here.
I'm happy for you to be out here, Matt. It's been a couple of weeks we've been speaking on the phone, and finally getting you out here to see the house and to, luckily enough, see the property where Sharon Tate's house once stood, since the gates are wide open. And
we're literally looking at these gates as we're standing here talking. So, yeah, you want to take me through? You've had tons of paranormal activity happen in this house. You've been on Ghost Hunters. You've been on a couple programs. This is really cool. So talk to me about, when you're walking out here with your dog and everything, how many knuckleheads like me are driving up and down this road every day?
Oh, I wouldn't say you're a knucklehead. No, Matt, please don't put yourself in that category, because you're not. A lot of people, God, this week we've probably had about over 24 that I've seen myself, because I've got my old dog and I have to take him out at all hours of the day and night.
Sure.
And, it's like 2 a.m. I come out here and there's people that are literally, sometimes they walk up the driveway because they want to walk in the footsteps of what the murderers walked up.
Right.
And of course, sometimes there are people that drive up, get to the gate, get out, take pictures. And luckily, like I said, they've left the gate open and it's beautiful, except for the view. It's a little bit cloudy and foggy in the city at 12 o'clock, but in the afternoon. But it's still an opportunity to see where and what is now there on that property.
Yeah, it's amazing.
It's amazing. It's crazy. And like I said, it's unique, because you'd think that after 55 years that people would have stopped caring and stopped being so interested. But the intrigue is always on a high note around the holidays and New Year's time, because there's so many tourists from all across the country that are here. They want to see it.
Especially this city. There's so many, you got Nicole Brown murder, of course.
Yep.
LA, you could
the Menendez brothers' house down in
all
the flats. You have a lot of places that are local.
Oh, yeah.
And across the canyon, of course, was Falcon Lair, which is really
Black Dahlia, right?
No, Rudolph Valentino's home.
Okay.
Black Dahlia is down in downtown near I forgot where in LA, but it's in the flats.
Okay.
But like I said, it's interesting. It's always fun to meet people when they drive up here and they say, "I've seen you on Ghost Hunters or Ghost Adventures." And it's like, "Yeah, you're David Oman." It's like, "Yes, that I am." And it goes, "Can I talk to you?" It's like, "By all means, please come visit." And I've brought people in the house to see the place, and it's fun. I've never felt threatened at all by spirits or by the people when I've been showing people the house and such.
Good.
So.
Well, you know what? Why don't we go?
Let's get inside.
Let's walk away from here and let's head inside and let's go see what kind of cool stuff that's happened to you and see if anyone's with us, I guess. Today, right?
Well, as I forgot to mention, everybody has the assumption that Sharon Tate's spirit visits here. It's like, well, yes, her spirit does visit here.
Okay.
However, it's not limited to just the Tate victims.
Yeah.
Initially, when I moved in here in 2002, the activity that was occurring here, I thought, had a lot to do with the Tate victims. Since that time, I've come to realize through psychics and through the parapsychologist and, of course, the scientist, Dr. Barry Taft, that the house is unique. It has an extremely elevated DC EMF levels. And EMF stands for electromagnetic fields.
That's right.
And DC is direct current. So that's battery electricity, that's also static electricity. It's not conduit, which is alternating current, which runs through the house.
Yep.
And what we found is that when people come in the house, the spirits around each and every one of us have an opportunity to manifest much more easily in this environment than in other locations. And I have no idea why that is, but according to Dr. Taff, he said that spirits manifest, and when they do, the electromagnetic fields jump.
Okay.
And he cited the investigation at the house in Culver City that was later made into a movie called The Entity.
Yeah, great movie.
When he was working on the original case that was the foundations for the movie and the book, he said that the meters would spike to 2,000 plus milligauss positive, and the apparition or the arc of light over the woman's head that was famously shown, he says our meters jumped, and then 5 minutes later they went back down to normal after the incident. He goes, in your house, the levels are always spiked. And I said, what do you mean? He goes, they're always on the top end or in the bottom end. I said, what do you mean? With his geomagnetometer device, they found that the readings were in excess of 2,000 milligauss positive to excess of 2,000 milligauss negative.
Really?
And the geomagnetometer, he said, unfortunately has a limited range of 2,000 positive to 2,000 milligauss negative. And he goes, in this house, he goes, every time he's here, they're spiking. And he goes, they could be 4,000, but our meters will not register that. And we've had people that have visited, and things have occurred. And I said, why would Sharon Tate come and visit a person that has no connection to her?
Sure.
And then I said to the people, in one case, we were doing a seance on the 3rd floor, which we're going to investigate. And a woman said, we were having a seance, and I heard this man's voice. And we recorded his voice on 3 digital recorders, a camcorder, and nobody else heard it but me until we replayed it. And we heard the sound of a man's voice saying, "Let it go, mija." And I was like, I told you that we heard the voice. This woman, this girl at the end of the table at the seance said, "Oh my God, that's my father. He died 4 years ago of cancer, and I've not been able to go on with my life." And I was shocked, and I said, "Oh my God." And she says, "I have to thank you so very much for this opportunity." And I'm like...
She had no idea.
She had no idea this was going to happen, nor did I. And I said, that makes sense, because the shortest line or distance between two parties is a connection, dead or alive. Why would Sharon Tate travel across the universe to say, "Oh, hi, I'm here. I want to see you. You're my biggest fan. Oh, God." It doesn't work like that from what I found. But the fact that her father, that she recognized the man's voice and identified it as her father, and then said, "I've got closure. I can go on with my life." I said, "Oh, my God." I said, "That's so unique." And what I found is, and I've told people, if something occurs to you in the house and you feel, hear, or see something, think of who's the first person that pops into your head that you have connected to that's passed away. And 9 times out of 10, that's what it is. It's connected to them directly, not a disparate spirit. I'm wanting to see Sharon Tate. And Sharon's like going, "What's in it for me? I don't know this person. I'm glad I appreciate you want to see me, but I'm not going to spend the time or energy to go say hello to you since there's no reason on my end." And I say it as this. It's almost like human ego speak. You go to a place and you've been told the notoriety of this place is this manifestation. And I said, yeah, but what's in it for them? Nobody takes it as the shoe's on the other foot. Well, what's the spirit getting out of this? Oh, they're not. So why would they want to venture forward to say and make their presence felt? That's what's the uniqueness about the house, and that's what I'd really like your audience, your listeners, to understand, that regardless of what you've seen on the shows, again, television is set forth in a dramatic-filled adventure. If the drama doesn't fit their narrative, it's not going to be used. And in my case, most of the shows have gone so far as to make it all about Sharon Tate, and I've said, it's
whatever angle they want for it.
They take a slice of the pie and they overexpose it. And it's like, well, yeah, that all happened. Example, my ghost story. They showed the house and me in the story in a way that made it feel like in first 3 weeks of me living here, all this stuff happened. And as I watched the show, I said, Well, I didn't meet her till 4 years into living in the house. So she doesn't come in till 4 years later, so it's not in the first 3 weeks of me living here. And that stems a lot of the curiosity of what people ask me about, saying, well, this all happened. I was scared out and leave the house. I said, look, if all of that stuff happened in 3 freaking weeks, I don't think I could handle it.
Right.
But when you draw it out over a 3 or 4 or 5 year period, you go, you mean it happened? And then 2 years later, this happens? Like, yeah. He goes, oh. So you had time to get back to normal. It's like, yeah. I resettled and I was okay, mentally speaking, and it didn't bother me. To the point where I realized that you have more to fear from the living than you do the dead.
How about that?
And spirits aren't here to say, come join us, come join the dead club. We're going to take you. The spirit's like, well, no, we know you've got an expiration date tattooed on your ass. We're not taking you anywhere, nor do we want to, nor do we have any interest in doing so. You're on your path, and we're on our path. If our paths intersect for a moment, fine, no big thing. Where people are like, oh my God, they relive the experience over and over in their head so many times that it's like going, yes, Samantha, we're talking. I have to pardon my cat, Samantha. And that's the thing is after living here for 22 years now, I'm like, yeah, stuff happens. It's okay. It's never threatened me. I've never felt in harm's way.
That's good.
Because it's true. It's how you perceive the incident that creates the fear and drama in your head. It's not the spirit's like, we're here to stick him in the butt with a pitchfork.
Right.
It doesn't work like that. It's how you react to the incident. And the spirit might say, oh my God, they just tripped balls. I'm out of here. I'm gone. I'm not going to deal with this. These people are giving me shits. So with that said, you now have a little better understanding about the spirits.
Sure.
And more importantly, if at any time during our tour of the house, you feel something like I'm not feeling quite at ease, tell me. We'll go outside, catch your breath, and decompress. And secondly, if you hear something, or you see something, or you feel something, I'm gonna have to take a notepad down because I'm getting that. If you do, we want to write down the time because the house is camera laden with 30 CCTV cameras, 25
Every move
inside.
we make is looked at.
Everything is covered. So every angle and the audio is incredible.
Good.
So if you hear something saying, well, let's review it. What time did that take place at?
Yeah.
So I'm going to take a pen. I'll grab a piece of paper somewhere around here. Reggie, stop it. That's my dog, Reggie, that's huffing and puffing.
Reggie's here, yeah.
Oh, yeah. By the way, we start off with the den and the aquarium. On top of my 180-gallon aquarium and canopy are these Beetlejuice figurines.
Yep.
They get knocked over by themselves inexplicably.
And that's been on your YouTube channel, right?
It's been on my YouTube channel. And what's
you got the Shining Twins, too.
I've got the Shining Twins that somebody gave me those as a gift.
I love that.
And what's interesting is and there's Mr. It, the clown.
Pennywise.
Pennywise, right. Now, these figurines...
you got all that. You got Michael Myers back there.
Oh, yeah. For 3 weeks, these had been untouched, meaning they hadn't been knocked over until about a week and a half ago. They started up again. And I was like, spirits... Where are you at? Are you guys on vacay or something?
Yeah, it's holidays. You're out of here.
Yeah, you're not here. So finally, they've started making their presence felt and knocking the figurines over again. So again, this one was knocked over this morning. I put him up earlier. And here's an example. I'm going to jump up and down at peril to my back to show you that there's no way that us walking around could disturb the figurines. Ow, that hurts.
But no damage done
no
to you,
damage
to
done.
you or them.
And again, to show you that I'm not lying, look underneath the canopy in the aquarium, and you see if you see any activators or anything that is going to, knock from
Fish
underneath
stuff.
to move the figurines. There's nothing there. Not to mention, even if you did, you'd make a sound.
Yeah.
Ow! And it's solid wood. It's not. This isn't plywood. This is heavy hardwood.
Real wood. It takes
This is real wood. This is a canopy that's built.
Good luck getting it moved out of here, right?
Yeah, well, let's not even go there on that level. But by the way, I don't know if you want to take advantage of the view.
Yeah, let's definitely look out there and on the canyon here and see what we have going on out here.
Let me turn my... Yes. Yes, get a view of the city. Well, I don't think, forget. You're not going to see the city. There is none.
That's all right.
It's literally all fogged in.
Yeah, it looks like it, isn't it? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, and then you can see this is the house that was here during the murders. You can actually see inside of it. The remodeling job is being done. And as I said, across the canyon, that is Rudolph Valentino's house, Falcon Lair.
Oh, nice.
What's left of it. They tore the main house down, so now that all that exists is the gates.
And what about the white one up here, straight ahead?
That was my friend's house. That's a, I forgot what was his name, Lautner. That was a Lautner house.
Okay.
It's built in the 60s. It's an incredibly beautiful
Looks
house.
nice.
It's gorgeous. It's gorgeous.
Sure does. All right, so now we're heading down.
Now you're
these
heading down to the second
stairs.
floor, and you can see my Doors collection, starting with this beautiful piece.
Well, your host loves the Doors, so
Yeah.
this is, I love it. Great Jim
This is
Morrison picture. That's
This
awesome.
is an original picture poster from '68.
Love that.
That's a reprint, but that's
Love
an original.
that. Long before my time.
I heard that the concerts that you would see 9 out of 10 times the Doors played, Morrison was drunk and was an
Oh,
abomination.
yeah, he was drunk all the time.
So this is one of the guest bedrooms. It's got my Pink Panther cells.
I see.
By the way, now that we're in here, and all of a sudden I'm getting a funny vibe.
Are you?
Are you feeling anything
I'm not.
physically?
No.
All right.
I'm not.
Well, you're lucky. I'm just getting a little like pressure in the back
Really?
of my neck.
Okay.
Yeah,
You
I
wanna
just
leave?
started feeling that. This, of course, is the here. Take a walk on this and tell me what you feel. This is what's left of my Jack Johnson museum.
Okay. All right, so I'm just going to walk to the edge here,
Yeah,
just come back.
you're right, and then walk to the other side and see if you feel anything when you walk on this runway, so to speak.
I mean, besides it being a little tight, obviously, nothing out of the ordinary.
No, just like sensations, anything physically, anything that you might, because lots of people have felt different, like pressure in their sinuses as they walk down, or just equilibrium issues, like they're rocking back and forth in a boat.
Maybe a touch, but maybe just because I feel like it's not completely...
No. It is 100%
Oh, is it?
level.
Oh, is it?
Yeah. I can,
Okay.
if you want, I can go grab a level.
Maybe
my
because
father
I
was a
see
builder.
the way the floor is, and that's why.
No, it's a
Okay.
little narrower, but even put it this
Yeah.
way: close your eyes and walk it, and try it with your eyes closed, because then the parable effect will not be working your eyes.
I won't fall.
But if you feel it with your eyes closed, then it's actually organic that you're picking up the sensation.
Interesting. I mean, maybe a touch, but I wouldn't say anything really. I don't think so.
All right. Again, it is what it is. If it's
Yeah,
present.
yeah.
Oh, by the way, well, I'll show you in a second. Reggie, come here. You can come on. It's okay. This is my office.
Oh, very nice.
And tell me if you feel anything in this. Again, it's a matter of what you're picking. If you feel anything, say, hey, I feel this is funky.
No. But this is great.
Yeah, that I had. I just fixed that. That was a Halloween prop that I had, and I had it literally. It was a collapsible. I said I got to seal it and glue it together as one piece because it's falling apart. And I said the only way to save it is to glue it. Now go in the bathroom, as a matter of fact.
Okay.
Go up and down. Just see if there's anything that you pick up in there. Nothing, huh?
A little bit, maybe.
All right.
In here, I think.
Yeah,
I feel like
this room, people have
it
been
feels
going.
tight, maybe. I don't know.
That's it.
Yeah?
People have gone and says,
Yeah.
the
feels
bathroom. The
kinda
bathroom's got energy. It's like, what do you mean? Because it's not like in here. It's got something else. It's like,
Interesting.
really?
Okay. Yeah, a little bit.
Okay. Yeah, I'm just my ear. I'm getting my right ear is just getting like like a head cold developing in my right ear. I can feel that.
Pressure?
Yeah, the congestion almost. Now watch what happens with him when we go downstairs.
It feels more open now out here.
There's no fucking reason for
Right.
it. It's all the same floor. Now watch what he does when we go downstairs.
Oh, yeah.
He will not go downstairs. In 12 years I've owned him. Look what he's doing. See, he's looking at us like, wait, Reggie, come on downstairs. Come on, mate.
Animals know.
And people say, you trained him not to go. It's like, my ass. He will never go downstairs. On the outside of the house, he
That
won't
is so
either.
interesting.
Look at this. Ray,
Yeah, pets know this. They feel it.
look at him. He's staring at us like, where are you assholes going? Where are you going down?
Oh my
Reggie, we're
gosh.
going downstairs.
Not gonna come.
He's not going to. And if you're going to go pee, don't pee upstairs, Reg. This is the third floor.
Well, it's much cooler, but that's just
Freezing.
temperature.
Yeah, that's just temperature. But if you're feeling anything, speak loud and clear.
Now this feels more open and just feels better.
right?
Yeah, it's tighter upstairs in a way.
Are you feeling anything in here? Oh, this is my UCLA man cave and beer bar. Yeah, these are all, there's like 230 mini helmets
Let's see.
and 80 footballs and some 30 full-size helmets.
Where's your Troy Aikman helmet?
Oh, Aikman's up there somewhere. I forgot. Let's see. Troy. I think there's a football sign by Aikman.
Okay.
Aikman's. I know there's one over there on that smaller thing. He was only there for 2 years, so
Right.
it's like, yeah. I mean, I like him, but it's like he's a bigger.
True Olsen, Mercedes Lewis. Okay.
Oh yeah.
That's very cool.
Yeah. There's my small Aikman.
Oh yeah, cool.
I've also got a full-size football.
I drove by I guess part of the campus on the way up here on
Yeah.
Sunset, right? Yeah.
Let me show you this. Oh, is it going to be cold? It's going to be cold in here. Oh, yes, it's cold. Oh, God, it's cold.
Oh, this is just a.
Wow. No,
okay.
this is the heart and soul of the house. This is the
Interesting.
earthen wall room.
Okay.
And people said, what is this? You're underground? It's like, no, since we're on a hillside, as all the houses are, they all have this type of a dynamic.
Yeah, this is okay. This is what they had to build in here for foundation, right?
This is the foundation here, and there's the gray wall. As a matter of fact, what you were walking on just now, that runway with the
that was this.
laundry room, there's the dryer, as you
Okay.
can see it. So that concrete
Okay.
block there, that gray wall, as they call it, or gray beam, you were standing on top of that.
Okay.
When you were feeling that curiosity, that energy. The only reason why this isn't finished is my father, during the construction, wanted to turn the third floor into an apartment.
Okay.
I said, no effing way we're doing that. He goes, oh, well, if that's the case, I'm going to leave this like this. And he was basically trying to force my hand by saying, you know, if you want to put this into, like, if you don't want this to be rough like it is now, and you don't want you just for storage, fine, I'll leave it like this. Because he says to put in a gosh darn kitchenette's going to cost $20,000. He's trying to threaten me with that. And it's like, well, fine. I ended up putting in for less than $2,000.
Good.
But, you know, like I said, he also included in the $20,000 was also to finish this off, drop a wall and a ceiling, and to make this all enclosed so it looks finished.
Okay.
He thought that by doing this, it would piss me off enough to say, fine, I'm going to do it. And I never bothered doing it. So I left it open. So originally, this dirt came down to right here.
Okay.
And during the Ghost Adventures show, we had this was cut out afterwards, so we'd have the space to bring more people in here. We have a video online of a bottle of wine coming out of the wine rack on its own. That piece of butcher block that's over on top of the counter actually is the butcher block that spins off on a video on its own.
Okay.
And I'll show you that as well while you're here.
And this is just.
This is just the hill. This is just the hillside.
Okay.
This was actually down here, about 3 feet further down the mountain slope when it was full. And what it was that I had this little thing because Lisa Williams, the famous psychic, came here and said, oh, did you know there's a Native American on horseback whose remains are interred in this mound of earth?
Okay.
And I said, I have no idea of this. How would I? And she goes, well, he's here, and he died 400 years ago when his horse was walking on the horse path, which is now the driveway. It lost its footing, it tumbled down the hill, and it basically, the horse and rider were stopped by a tree.
Oh.
Well, if you notice there's an old growth tree stump that was here during the construction of the house, and I can show you in the photographs of the construction where that tree was. And she says through the years, the horse and rider's remains basically deteriorated and disintegrated. The bones were left and spread out across the mound of earth.
Wow.
And through the years, the mudslides had covered it,
Okay.
the bones, and interred it into the earth. I told this to Zach Baggins when they were shooting Ghost Adventures, and he turned it into native ceremonial burial grounds. And I said, one guy died by accident and got interred by natural causes, does not thereby make it a Native American ceremonial burial ground. And that's the truth. It's not. One man supposedly, according to Lisa Williams, the psychic, had died, and that's that. So that's some of the stuff that people have said, that the area was all Native American ceremonial. It's like, no,
Wow.
there were, and I found out, the Tongva tribe lived up here up to the 1850s. And then after after Los Angeles was basically developed, they were pushed out and put on reservations in San Gabriel Valley.
Okay.
And that's what we've found out the historical significance of. But there were never Native American burial sites on this land ever.
You know that term, Native American, that's a big term that gets thrown around pretty
Yeah,
easily.
it's
But
like, it comes around from the movie Poltergeist.
Sure.
You moved the headstones,
But you
but you
didn't move
left
the
the
bodies,
bodies.
that's right.
You didn't move the bodies. It's like
you son of a bitch.
Yeah, exactly. That unfortunately is not exactly accurate, because spirits don't,
Oh, you know what? We think we were here first. There are people long before us.
Oh yes,
everywhere we
absolutely.
go. So that's interesting. Wow.
Yeah. So I'll show you the guest bedroom. Oh boy, is it chilly.
Balcony down here, which is
There's
great.
a balcony. Each floor's got its
Yeah,
own.
that's
Has two
great.
balconies. This is the guest bedroom, where
Okay.
lots of people have visited and strange stuff has happened
Okay.
here. I'll let you take a little walk around and see what you pick up. And yeah, this is still left over from 5 years ago, from the 50th anniversary. That's why all the
Oh, wow.
60s posters and the black light posters. As a matter
Yeah.
of fact, there's neon lights. I mean, black lights on the wall to basically get this whole room to look like a black light room from the 60s.
Absolutely. Let's take a picture here.
And the spirits seem to enjoy it too.
It's always a good thing.
Yeah.
So what has happened in this room to people?
Let's see, my key grip in 2005 was dragged up to the corner of the ceiling by an unseen force.
Oh.
It took him 6 months to tell us the story of what happened in this room. And what he told us is that on the last night he was here, we did a seance upstairs, and we had an 1880s spirit board, precursor to
Okay.
the Ouija board.
Okay.
Nothing happened, so to speak. When he came back down here to go to the bathroom, to go to bed, he says he heard the sound of footsteps and voices. No, he heard the sound of a man's voice saying, "You're coming with us."
Wow.
And started dragging him up to the corner of the ceiling.
goodness.
He says, "Put me down, put me down." Mind you, Charles is about 6'2" and about 265 pounds. So he's a heavy-set gentleman and a skeptic.
Ah.
And he says, I didn't know what the hell was happening. I said, put me down, put me down. He says, I find myself sitting bolt upright in bed on the opposite side of the mattress that I was sleeping on. He goes, it's impossible. And it took him 6 months to grapple and deal with it, and finally come to terms with it, where he finally told me what had happened. And I said, since then, we've had countless experiences. A friend of mine, Nathan, was standing where I am. He was calling Sharon out, and literally the door was open like this. It was a Halloween night, and he goes, "Well, Sharon, if you're here, why don't you make your presence felt?" The phone literally flew out of his hand and onto the screen and then onto the floor.
Oh my God.
One woman was coming in the room. One woman was standing in the corner doing some makeup with her on the mirror, and one girl was coming out of the bathroom. They all heard it and saw it and said, "What the hell was that?"
Wow.
So,
Okay, so you definitely had some interesting activity
lots of stuff
here.
in this room. Voices have been recorded. The cat toys turned on by itself.
Yeah.
People have been, physically pushed against the mirror.
What do you think it is about this spot specifically?
This room,
Yeah.
I have no idea what it is, why they find so much interest and activity in this room, but there's just something about it.
Something about it.
Yeah.
Something about this spot that just does it.
This
Yeah.
floor, this whole floor, the bathroom, the earthen wall room, the theater room, it's just this whole floor. Even on the balcony, on the staircase, my friend Rick McCallum was here on the stairs on the side of the house doing an investigation. He says, I went outside, stepped out onto the platform, looked up the stairs, and all of a sudden I hear footsteps coming down the stairs on the side of the house. I said, what do you mean? He goes, well, I heard like crunching of leaves, and I could hear the footsteps coming down the stairs, and he goes, they stopped right before the last stair in front of me, and then they continued a second later at the stairs right behind me.
Wow. Oh, goodness.
And in this room, in the bathroom, people have described the presence of feeling like somebody's watching them from up in the vent, peering
really?
down at them. And I said, what? She goes, I just had this unsettling feeling that there was somebody leering at me from the top of the bath. I said, what? She goes, yeah, from the top of the vent. They were looking down at me. I was like, oh my God.
Interesting. That's
Yeah,
spooky.
strange.
Yeah.
Very strange indeed.
All right.
Let me put this where it belongs, near the fireplace.
So yeah, you gotta. So this is the hot spot. Okay.
This whole floor is an active spot.
Interesting.
And the problem is I said, oh, what floor is the most active? It's like every floor has got its own curiosity and activity that's occurred here.
Okay. But this seems to be the big one. Okay.
Yeah, there's something in this area. I don't know what it is. And what's funny is it's colder in this room
Yeah, much colder
than it is in this room. And there's no
yeah.
reason for it. They're both the same.
Right. Definitely.
Yeah, I mean, that's nuts. Oh, yeah, and this piano has been known to play by itself on its own.
That's okay. Had you heard it? Have you seen it happen?
We had
Yeah.
Nick Roth here about 8 years ago when he was promoting his show with Katrina Weidman, Paranormal Lockdown. And Jimmy Oster from JoeBlow.com was interviewing him, and all of a sudden they were talking about their kids, and the keyboard starts playing on its own.
Oh my goodness.
And they were like, what the hell? This actually came from a DVD Blu-ray release party that was here for Poltergeist, the remake.
Really?
They took that room and converted it into Carol Ann's room. They took all the furniture out and they dress set it with a little girl's single bed and a 4-foot tall teddy bear and a little tea table for kids and stuff. And they had the keyboard, and people run up to me and says, the keyboard, it played a single note on its own by itself. I'm going, I don't know anything about the keyboard. I said, that's a prop that they brought in. And they said, well, and I asked him, I said, is that? He goes, no, we picked it up at the gosh darn Toys R Us when there was a Toys R Us. I said, you can't. He said, yeah, we just bought it off the shelf. We bought it in a dress set. They went so far as to take little girl's clothing and lay it out on the bed so that it looked like the next morning she was going to get up. They had a hamper there with clothes on it. It was straight out of crazy.
Wow.
And this house was just lit up like a Roman candle with activity. And I was like, aye. And I said they were tearing down the night of the event. And I said, can I have this? And he goes, well, we're throwing it. I said, can I have it? He goes, yes. I said, apparently the spirits of the little girl loves it.
Wow.
And
Now, it's been here and what is it? Has it done anything
it's
crazy
played,
since?
Oh, yeah, it still plays.
And are your lights doing that on you or on your own? Or is that flickering and just...
Look where my hands are, sweetheart. Where was I standing when the lights just
so everyone
flashed?
that's listening-
So you know that isn't me.
So
I mean, I
everyone that's
can't do that.
listening-
And it only did it one time.
Yep. So everyone that's listening, we are standing in this room and those lights just came on and off. Neither one of us, I certainly didn't touch them because I don't know where
I'm
the
not
lights are.
touching them. I'm 5
And
feet
David
away.
is not touching them either.
I'm 5 feet. Yeah.
And there you
There
go.
goes
I'm recording
again.
it right now. So it will be posted as well.
You're getting it.
So these lights...
Thanks, spirits. I
now
love you.
have come on and off
By
twice.
themselves.
Okay, this is very interesting.
Yeah, they're here.
All right.
They said, we'll give them a
There
little
we go.
show.
So obviously this floor, like you said, does something. Okay.
Well, that's where they are right now. Because
There they are now, yeah.
I've seen the activity on all different floors. Well, they said, what's the most active? I said, I said, it's not down here.
knows?
The stuff's going on upstairs. He goes, well, I'm wrong. A couple of months ago, I was here with some friends, and there's one video that's online where I was here 8 months ago, and I walked by, I came down here, and the door was closed, and I had just been down here a few hours earlier, and I walked in there, and I shut the door, and I'm like, it's locked. As I'm sitting like this does this on its own.
The recliner.
Like this. And I'm like, whoa, that's nuts. And I walk, this is locked. And it's like, that shouldn't be locked. And then I walked like this, and I was like, holy crap, what the hell is that doing up?
Wow.
And I watched the video, and you walk.
There it goes again. Lights again.
Thanks, spirits.
That's three times now?
3 times now.
3 times, yeah.
And I was like, what the hell? I said, and people said, oh, you hit it. I said, first of all, I'm here. The button, look at this. Here's the armrest. The button is here. It's in 3 inches. You have to push the button in and do that. Yes, I'm showing him the gosh darn that. Can you stop interrupting me?
Okay, they are coming on and off.
I'm trying to explain this to him. I will tell him about what happened June. I had my 3 friends from Texas and my friend's girlfriend staying here in the 3rd floor, and we're talking. Door's wide open. She's here, he's here, and I'm talking. And all of a sudden, the gosh darn thing goes off again and raises its legs on its own. I'm like going. I said, "Oh God, did you guys see?" He goes, "Yeah, that's nuts." I said, "Yeah." Oh God, is it chilly?
Let's see if.
And now you see the lights aren't doing a damn thing.
I don't want to do anything now, but yeah, we've seen it about twice now. They've come on and off. Don't feel anything in here though, but definitely see the lights doing that.
Well, they're making their presence felt one way or the other.
Wow, very interesting. Okay.
Oof, God.
There it goes. There it goes. Did it again. Wild.
Thank you, spirits. I
Yeah.
really appreciate that.
Thank you for
I know
showing
there's
up.
no short in the gosh darn system. These lights do this when they want to. Otherwise, it wouldn't be turning on. Like I said, there's no rhyme or reason to it. This is, of course, the seance table.
Yeah,
We've
yeah.
done plenty of seances here.
I love that.
At the house and stuff. And no, we're not trying to bring in the devil or any of that stupid stuff.
No,
We
no,
just
no.
don't. That just doesn't
Communication,
work.
right?
It's just it's an opening a doorway to let the spirits communicate, and that's it. As you said, communication. It's
Yep.
not in a way, shape, or form trying to bring in anything that's negative.
Yeah, you know. And now they're off. And now the lights are just off. That is really interesting.
Thanks, spirits. Want to turn them back?
There you go. Back
I
on.
couldn't even say. I said, and that went off for about a good
That was
10,
a good-
15 seconds. It wasn't on and off.
At
It
least
was
5
on,
seconds they
then
were
off.
Yeah.
Tut, 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 10 seconds later, on. Thanks, spirits.
Okay,
You guys
we
are the
got some
bomb.
action
You
today.
gave Matt a little bit of a taste of what it's like. I love that.
Little action here.
I only want to go upstairs because it's much warmer than it is down here, and
All right, we're going up.
my blood is starting to get cold.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh
Back up.
God.
Okay, so that was
God.
active. You want to go
Yeah.
all the way back up or just?
Yeah, wherever
Okay.
it's your look. It's your call,
I think we
kid.
saw that.
Oh God, is that cold? Oh, we go upstairs. I can feel the warmth as we getting up.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Much, much.
How's the dog? Did he do anything?
No.
Hopefully he didn't.
Hanging out. Seems okay.
Good, he didn't pee. Sometimes he gets a little bit nerved out. When we go downstairs, he has a reaction.
So anything major happened up here? I mean, you said some photos you took once or twice, something?
Oh yeah, I've got to turn this down thing off. Up here, lots of stuff has happened. We had a friend of mine's daughter was in that bathroom.
Yeah.
I have a video of it. This is about 10 years ago. She's about 10 years old. And she's in there and she comes in. She goes, Mommy, I saw something in the window. In the window. She goes, what? She goes, I saw this woman. I said, what? She was looking in there and she describes there's a woman on the outside hanging by her fingers and she's looking straight in. She's got this blackish colored, grayish, blackish hair. And it's like an amorphic face. She says, just this weird looking woman's face. And she goes like this. She takes her fingers off the ledge like this and then slowly drops down. And I'm like, what are you talking about? And she goes, so I grabbed a picture of Abigail Folger.
Oh,
and I showed her.
no.
She goes, oh, that's her.
That's her.
The lady. I'm going, and this kid is a 10-year-old from Australia who wouldn't know Abigail Folger from Adam, but she saw the presence. Yeah, you'd think so is right.
So, all right, here's my
Yeah.
question. We're looking around here. You got, Sharon Tate artwork up here and everything. So, okay, so August 9th, 1969, Sharon Tate, Abigail Folger, Jay Sebring, Wojtek Frykowski, Stephen Parent,
right?
are all murdered by the Manson family.
Yes.
Tex Watson, was Krenwinkel there that night, or was that Van Houten? I don't remember. And then
Susan
Atkins, of course.
Patricia Krenwinkel and Leslie Van Houten were all here.
And Tex Watson, obviously,
And Tex
was
Watson.
the ringleader on
Van
that.
Houten watched. Was it Krenwinkel or Van Houten who watched? I forgot which one it was.
I thought that was what's-her-face that got immunity for being in the car.
Right. She was immunity. She watched. She did not participate.
Right. And she became a witness, essentially.
She became a witness. And what's funny is we've had Diane Lake.
That was who it was.
Snake.
I thought it was.
No, Snake was.
Okay.
Her nickname in the family was Snake.
Yeah.
She came here 5 years ago because when I was writing the book, and the publisher, my publisher, was friends with her because she had published her book, A Member of the Family, and Diane came in the house and I was like going, okay, this could be really, really, really upsetting to the spirits.
Yeah.
And I thought
yeah.
it was like putting a firecracker in a bomb, and something would be setting itself off. And as it turned out, there was nothing but pleasant energy. And I was like, spirits, are you guys at all tripped out? And they go, no, if it wasn't for her and a few of the other people that turned state's evidence, the case would never have been solved.
Okay.
So there was this indebted gratitude and appreciation for what she had done, and there wasn't this resentment, hatred, and malicious sensation towards her whatsoever.
Okay, that's good. So who else besides Sharon Tate? Do you have anyone specific? Have anyone, specific spirit shown up that you've known it's them from time to time? Everyone that was involved in what happened that night?
Nothing. No, the perpetrators have never, even though Susan Atkins and Charles Manson have passed. No, they would never. I would figure that they would never walk near here or venture into here. Quentin was up here for 2 days shooting Once Upon a Time in Hollywood in 2018, 6 years ago, which was funny because 2 days after he left, the one of those paintings or one of those framed pieces that you saw in the hallway came ripping off the wall and fell to the ground.
Okay.
And I heard it in the middle of the night, and I watched the video, and then I went in there and I saw it. The frame was split down the middle of the wood on the back, on the frame. There's two, there were two nails in the wall were still there. But literally, when you look at the frame, and I can show it to you, there's a crack right down the middle where it ripped apart.
Wow.
And fell down off the gosh darn wall for no reason whatsoever.
Oof.
Then I had to glue the frame together and basically patch it together so you know to have it working without any problems.
Wow. So have you had any, what about neighbors? Do they have anything? They got stories?
The house next door.
Talk about things like that? Or?
Well, they don't want to talk about things like that. However,
some people don't like to talk about
the house next door, that one was an Airbnb.
Oh, is that right?
And Usher lived there for 6 months.
Oh, really?
And I was friends with Usher's brother, and he and I are still friends. And I asked Usher, I said, so you've been staying in the house, how do you like it? He goes, I don't stay there that often. I said, what do you mean? He goes, it's my creative space. I said, oh. He goes, I will tell you one thing that happened. I said, what? He goes, I'm in the second floor taking a shower in the master bedroom. I said, yeah. He goes, I hear footsteps going across the floor on the ceiling, on the floor above me, which is the living room. I said, yeah. He goes, but I'm alone. I said, he goes, there's no one in the house. I said, what? He goes, yeah. He goes, I go to the front door. The front door is locked, dead bolted, and in front of the front door is this iron, entry door that's locked as well. He goes, so I know I'm not. He goes, and I checked. He goes, there's no one in the house. And I go, and he goes, that was it. He goes, it's the only time I've had the experience. It's like, oh shoot. And it was an Airbnb, as I said. So I would talk to a lot of the people that would rent the house out.
Oh yeah, I bet.
And I remember there was some Jamaican rappers that rented the house out and were recording stuff there, and they said, oh man, this place is nuts. I said, he goes, crazy activity, crazy nuts, not good. I don't like it, spirits, activity. And I rented it out a couple times.
Did you?
Yeah, because I had friends that were coming in from out of town. I only have so many rooms here.
Sure.
As I said, look, the house next door is an Airbnb. I said, oh, we'll rent that out. They had stuff happen. Just crazy stuff was happening. So that's as far as the neighbors are concerned. I know that, I don't know, talk to the people next to them, and the people next to them don't talk about it. They either don't believe or they don't want to discuss it, but it's just quiet.
Of course. I understand that.
But it's like I said, I've walked down the driveway around 2 in the morning during the summer, and usually hear the sound of crickets and stuff, and I've gone down there, it's been dead quiet, where it's like, why do I not hear any wildlife? And it's just like, almost like you're in a vacuum, and it's just a solitudinal type of a feeling. Nothing like scary, but it's like you notice going, where are the ambient sounds of nature? What, did somebody turn the volume down to mute?
Right.
Because I don't hear anything now. And, that's about it. But I mean, after 22 years of living here and building the house here for 3.5 years, I've never felt threatened. I mean, I've had the experience of hearing voices and footsteps and seeing objects move on their own. Had that chair sitting here, right here, watching, towards the screen. my friend was here staying, and my friend's son was staying here. He's like 20 years old. And I said, what's going on? He goes, no, I got to go downstairs and do some work. I got to study for a midterm. It's like, okay. So I come back upstairs, and the chair is sitting right here in the walkway from the stairs. So I said, I said, Charlie, I said, why the hell did you move the chair? He goes, what are you talking about? I said, the chair that's sitting there in the den.
Nothing.
I said, the chair's sitting there, that was sitting there in front of the screen because we had a bunch of people here the night before and we had that chair there. He goes, what are you kidding me? He said, I went straight downstairs to do my studies. I have no time for this shit. I said, so you didn't move the chair 10 feet from there in front of the screen over here in the walkway? He goes, no, what are you, crazy? I brought him up and he goes, I didn't touch that. What are you, nuts? The figurines getting knocked over, stuff like that. So to me, it's always a curiosity. Oh, a friend of mine about 17 years ago was using the bathroom. Had a big party going on here. And, nothing. So he comes out, he's like, he goes, why the hell didn't you guys, listen, why didn't you answer me? Why didn't you help me? I said, help you what? He goes, I'm in the gosh darn bathroom. The door is locked. I can't get out. I said, look down, and the gosh darn little garbage can starts dancing around back and forth on its own. And I'm screaming and yelling, and I can't goddamn get out of here. And finally the door unlocks, and I can come out. And he goes, I said, didn't you hear me? It's like, and it wasn't like the music was really, really loud. I don't believe in a party where you can't speak to one another. So I said, are you crazy? I said, we're all out. We was like 35, 45 people. What are you talking about? We didn't hear a damn thing.
Jesus. Yeah, that's
strange
and all those,
shit.
So do you have, would you say, do you get any more activity around like August 8th, 9th, and 10th every year when it happens? Do things like that happen?
Exact opposite.
Oh, nothing. It's
the
quiet.
Anniversary, I've got a diary, obviously, of living in the house for 22 years. So around the anniversary, I've looked through it. 2 days or 3 days before the anniversary, say around the 5th and 6th, it's almost like it crests. And then on the anniversary, it's just silent.
Really? Okay.
And it's almost like I thought to myself, and then afterwards, 2 days afterwards, it spikes up again. So it's like you have a high, and then a low, and then a high again, and then it's back to normal, which is in between. And I started to think, why would people celebrate the anniversary of their passing? It had to be the most sullen, sorrowful moment of their existence.
Of course.
So it makes sense. However, on the 50th anniversary 5 years ago, either the 50th or 45th, I had to figure it out, my friend Joey Moss, we had a big event here, and Joey's, the artist, was here talking about his pieces of art. Everybody had left except me and Joey. This is the setup. Joey's standing right here in the doorway between the living room and dining room. I'm standing here 2 feet to his right, to his left. Kitty cornered him, and I'm talking to him. And at exactly 12, and then all of a sudden, this large Beetlejuice figurine comes flying.
Moving. Wow.
Lands here, his head pops off. Joey's like this, like,
oh my God.
He's stark white, his mouth is agape, and he's like, dude, he goes, that figurine just launched towards me. Now I'm standing here and I'm talking to him like this. Right in the middle of it, I turn my head and I see it in midair, flying and dropping and going, what the And I looked at my watch and it says 12:20, and I was like, oh my God. And she goes, it's now. And he goes, what's now? And here's what, this is the moment when I died. And I'm thinking, who? And she goes, it was Sharon. That was the only time on the anniversary in the 22 years I've lived here, that only time it happened. And again, it was just Joey and I, and he's the artist who paints all these Sharon Tate portraits, and he's like going,
Wow.
And I'm like, that's so, and to me it's like, that's so cool, that's so crazy, that's so wild. He's like,
Jeez. Okay, wow.
And that's about it. To me, it's like, I find it interesting, amusing, and never threatening, but I'm always like, well, what caused that? There's a curiosity factor. It's like, I'm not afraid, I'm just, what's this all about?
Exactly. Right.
Because what am I going to do? Going to say, no, spirits, don't do that.
stop
A,
doing that, right.
are they going to listen? No.
Not so much.
B, am I going to piss them off? Possibly.
Possibly.
C, what am I going to gain out of trying to tell them to not do what they're doing when they're doing it because they want to manifest and let you know they're here, and in a way that's just like crashing right through the perception of, wow, that's nuts.
Your relationship is what it is, and you like it the way it is, and we'll keep it that
I don't
way,
have a
right?
problem with
Right.
it. I find it fascinating, interesting, and curious, to put it bluntly. It's a curiosity. I don't find it threatening in any way, because it's not.
No, it's
And
not.
it's also about how you deal with the situation that creates the drama or doesn't create the drama, because it's you in your head trying to formulate what just happened, da, da, da. And if you just say, okay, it happened, accept it, and go on, then you're not like stuck in, I'm frightened. It goes, but it happened 10 minutes ago, it happened 10 days ago, or 10 years ago, what's the 10 months ago? What's the difference? It happened.
Right.
Just accept it and move on. If it's not like a knife being thrown at you, which we've had glasses of wine hurled across the room by an unseen force.
Jeez.
Dr. Taft was sitting here at the bar, and a glass of wine came flying across and hit the wall and went spilling down. I was like, Barry, he goes, I didn't do anything.
So you had a couple projectiles.
We've had things that have it didn't hit him. It just was like,
Yeah.
well, we're letting you know we're here. Hello, we're here with you now. So
Okay.
this, of course, is the dead bell.
Oh, the dead bell.
The dead bell.
Do I ring this, or do I touch
No,
this?
you don't touch it. It rings
touches
on
itself.
its own.
I see. Okay.
Yes, it plays by itself, which is
see.
kind of strange. We've had it go off many times. I've got the EMF, the REM pod, which is a proximity beacon. So when something interferes with the antenna in a physical fashion, it actually turns on.
Interesting.
What other devices do we have? Oh, yes, of course. The infamous, now famous cat toy.
Oh.
Which actually, and I'm not bragging, I'm just making a statement of fact. That situation with the cat ball started here at the house around 12, 13 years ago now.
Okay.
When Ron Iacovetti, there, it's turned off. When Ron Iacovetti was here with his girlfriend Lourdes in the 3rd floor. And I have the video of it, and you can see it. He's down there, and they're just walking out of the theater room, and all of a sudden Lourdes looks and she goes, Ron, did you hit the ball 25 feet away? No, I didn't hit the ball. He goes, well, it's going off. And they go, oh my God, it is. So Ron decides to take up the gauntlet and says, spirits, if that's happened because of you, can you light the ball back up by yourselves? Seconds later, cat ball is lighting up. And this is a newer version of it. The original one just was a simple greenish colored plastic ball, and you pulled out the stopper, and that's how it turned. That's basically how you turned it on, to let the power run through it, to get the batteries working. If you don't hit this, it doesn't go off. Oh, great.
Yeah.
What did I do? And so he starts having a conversation with the spirits apropos of the ball, turning on, turning off, answering questions. And ever since then, it became this paranormal device that's a trigger mechanism. Let's see.
Wow.
There, all right, so good, it's
Yeah.
working. So it was like, oh my God, nowadays, the cat ball that was $1 each is now like $4 each. And it's now a paranormal device to investigate. I also have a
FLIR camera?
you can call it a FLIR, but you can't call it a FLIR. It's a heat seeker, because FLIR is a trademark name,
right.
which stands for forward-looking infrared.
Yep.
This is a thermal imaging camera, is really what a FLIR is, and that we'll show you in a second once it goes on.
Oh yeah, very cool.
There you go. So you have that. So we've used that in the house again.
That's pretty nice. Yeah.
Of course, the dowsing rods, which
got
I
those.
find very, very difficult, because you got to get them level. And if you can't level them out, you're going to have a false positive on all times.
Sure.
And again, this is the thermal imaging camera. Oh, there goes a raven.
Oh,
There he
yeah, I saw
is.
that.
Hi, sweetheart. Come on, go get some food. It's up there on the balcony for you. This is a real-life field compass. Should have brought that downstairs with you. That is where True North is. When you walk around the house, this starts to react to the energies, and it'll start to spin in certain parts of the house, and it has no explainable reason why it does that. This is a device that is used by telephone linemen.
Sure.
It sends out a signal. Oh, good. Let me see something. All right.
Yep.
You attach this to one end of the wires, and down the wire run, you will use this to basically isolate on the one wire that you're looking for. So that's how that works. It sends down the signal down the lines. When we were installing the camera system, the guy went like this. He goes, that should be quiet. I said, what do you mean? He goes, that's picking up energy. It's it's just an inductive amplifier. So, example, its range is limited to maybe about 1.5 feet out. He says, that should be dead quiet. I said, what do you mean? He goes, well, it's picking up energy that's inside of there. He goes, but, you hear that?
Yeah, yeah.
Tick, 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 tick. Tick, 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 tick shouldn't be ticking at all. And he says, what do you mean? He goes, it should be quiet. He goes, look. He goes, you're getting a signal. He goes, when you're here, you have very low. I said, what do you mean? He goes, look. Reggie, watch it. Now, do you hear that? It's quieter, but it's still...
Something's there.
Now, what's interesting is right here, it's really quiet.
Yeah, very quiet.
That's how quiet it should be. But I'm literally 2 feet from
the receiver.
No, from the whatchamacallit, from the refrigerator.
Okay.
Hear that? That's the refrigerator motor running. But here is the quietest.
That's interesting.
He goes, when you go in the stairwell, listen to this. Hear that click, click?
Uh-huh.
He goes,
wow.
The signal is changing. He goes, I said, what do you mean? He goes, look. And then he says, watch this. Now listen to this.
Quiet.
You come into the threshold.
Buzzing. Gets loud. Oh, yeah.
He goes, there's nothing, he goes, there's no reason for it. He goes, so what do you He goes, you got energy in the atmosphere in this house that should not be. I said, what do you goes, it should be dead quiet.
Wow. You got quite an array of tools for this
stuff.
So
I bought this. This isn't even a paranormal piece of equipment, but I use it as such because it's something that can verify and validate the information that there is something that is there that should not be there. And the energy should not be there in the middle of the room because you have a 12-foot high ceiling, and at 6 feet, it should be quiet as a mouse. Because where's it? He says, where's it picking up the energy from? He goes, it only has a range of this far. So when you're this far and you got all that space of air, he goes, where's it coming from?
Well, I'll tell you what, David, this is a pretty interesting place you've got. You've got a lot of stories. We could go on forever and ever, but we'll wrap for now. Thank you very much for coming on. If people want to learn more about this stuff or watch, you got YouTube channels or whatever?
YouTube.com/David Oman, O-M-A-N. There's also, they can take a look at the movie House at the End of the Drive.com.
I've seen it. Check it out. Yep.
What the hell else? I got Twitter, The Oman One. Instagram, The Oman House.
Oman House, yes.
That's pretty much about it. I'm not on TikTok. I just haven't. Social media gets too inundated with so many different platforms to be a part of.
Sure.
So.
All right. Well, that's fabulous. And everyone, of course, knows us. You know where to find us. Email us, scarymovieproject@gmail.com, at The Scary Movie Project on Instagram and on Facebook. So this is wonderful being here where the Manson Murders happened, and we got to see a look at what's going on. So we'll wrap for now, and until next time, everyone, remember, we're looking at a picture of Lance Henriksen that was here. Yep, love that. That's awesome. Love him in The Alien, of course.
Oh, yes.
Fabulous.
Great actor.
And he did a great little spot in that. So we'll wrap for now. Remember, everyone, I remember her saying, I'm already dead.
The Scary Movie Project podcast. Learn more at thescarymovieproject.com.